All right, so we're recording to the cloud. So what we're going to focus on today is drafting the team's articles as part of our bylaws. One of the things we were kind of discussing just before starting this was what we wanted to flesh out with this. And it's been a while for me since, like, I feel like it's been like a couple weeks since I've been on this. So I'm trying to get my head in this. So if my head's like not fully here, like I'm just kind of playing catch up a little bit. So, okay, I may definitely need your help on a few things, but the way we were kind of thinking about it was that this would be more of a way to describe the day-to-day activities for not just the kind of officers, but for the volunteers. And we initially kind of see this as a way to protect the volunteers and delineate responsibility to the officers. So like kind of just making it clear, like, hey, this is what your expectation is when you take on this role. And then also maybe like what that looks like for the board as well, because that's also something that, you know, like Kay and I in the current like interim board, we're sort of like navigating, we're doing like double duty. And so I think it would be really helpful to also flesh out what is expected between like the officers and the board members as well. Mm-hmm. So we don't actually have, I don't really think we have much of a template for this one, do we? This is one we're kind of drafting more on our own, and we're just going to base it on the officers. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that there was a team's draft.
I just started it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
So what I did with the team's draft was I just literally did a copy of the officers and just have that kind of going. So we can kind of edit from there. And then let me look real quick. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Oh, what's this multiple windows? Hang on. There's a new feature on Zoom. You can share multiple windows now.
Ooh, neat.
Hold on. Let's see this real quick. I'm going to rely on you all to tell me what this looks like. Does this just look like a hot mess on my desktop?
No, it's just focused in on the screens.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, you can tile to the left and the right.
Oh, okay. That's better.
That looks really good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool.
I love how impeachment is highlighted. I saw that and I was like, yep, that's what I've been listening to today.
Yes.
Yes. All right, I gotta move some stuff around on my screen.
I'm taking a peek at the PDF that we've been like using as a guide, just to see if they have anything about like volunteers, and I don't really see much in there. I'm gonna do one more. I did it this morning and I'm doing it again. I'm looking one more time just to see, but I don't see a whole lot of guidance there. So this will be us really building this, which that's a good thing, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kay, I'm doing the same thing and I don't see anything other than amendment, you know, like the miscellaneous provisions, but it doesn't have anything other than fiscal year amendments, activities of the organization, dissolution and distribution of assets. So
yeah, I saw like one thing earlier about let's see, many nonprofits begin and end without ever achieving their vision. Can you achieve yours without starting a new organization? Become a volunteer. Yeah, that's like it. Like the word volunteer is listed like one time.
Yeah.
Which is helpful.
And are you sure you want to do this? Are you?
This is a constant fear always.
I know I like the beginning of this article because it's like, I mean, you really don't have to do this. Like, we're going to tell you, but you really don't have to do this.
We're doing it. We're making it.
Okay. So it does seem like maybe we should include something that connects and like clarifies to make sure that like membership like of the guild doesn't necessarily have to like, you know, you don't have to necessarily volunteer, but if you want to, here's the structure for it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So maybe like that's section 1.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I think even just saying that like this organization is going to be, I don't know, right now it's kind of run by volunteers. Like we rely a lot on people just giving their time. And I'm sort of wondering if that's something that should be integrated into the language. I don't know what it's going to look like in 5 years. You know, it's pretty abstract.
That's another one. Again, I'm team. Let's lay out the process for editing the bylaws at the end and make sure it's really clear, because right now it's good to say like we're a volunteer-led organization and we are a volunteer-led organization. That's like the volunteers are made up of our membership. But then again, in 5 years, if it looks different and there's an executive director in a paid position, you know, we have a process for editing this part of the bylaw.
That's really good. Yeah.
So then teams are established to break down the day-to-day activities and duties.
Function. Yeah.
Duties, functions. Duties and functions of the guild. The public. Teams are intended to be flexible to meet the needs of the guild at any iteration it may be in at any given time.
Good. Yeah.
Activities of the guild, I'm thinking, sorry, I'm just kind of like thinking of like how I want to describe this. And also like jump in if you have something as well.
Yeah.
Activities of the guild are accomplished by, and let me know, I may get redundant too. So like we can go and clean it up. I'm just kind of like spewing this out right now. Activities of the guild are accomplished by the teams in order, I want to just like emphasize the public aspects of the guild, because everything that we do is intended to be transparent and therefore intended to be public as possible, down to like communications, down to like video recordings, like what we're doing right now, to the Discord, to Instagram, to exhibitions. So that's just kind of like where my head is at. Does that seem still pretty good?
Yeah, I think so.
Activities of the guild are accomplished.
As transparently as possible. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have something nice.
Yes. With oversight and direction from the zone representatives. And I guess, can we say board?
I'm trying to think back.
I'm trying to remember, does the board have any direct?
They
Rule-
deal with the the money, I feel like if the team members need money for something, they talk to their team leader, and then the team or the zone representative, and then the zone rep talks to the board of directors, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty sure we
Okay.
gave the board just the power to form committees.
Okay. And maybe one thing as I'm writing this too, like maybe I'll just like start writing a bunch of this stuff out. And then like if we feel that we need to like break this up into like different sections and then like expand upon them in different sections, we can. So I might just take that route in starting this draft, actually. Well, fiscal decisions, fiscally related decisions.
Do you think under structure, we should mention something about like how communication between the zone reps and team members is decided by them?
Yeah. And I feel like a whole other section will probably need to be communication.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like this, maybe calling this team structure, like isn't, well, I mean, I guess it is like a good first like section, but we can like break it down later, I guess, yeah.
I mean, we could even have a section that says team's purpose, you know, like it could literally just lay out, because I feel like that's what this first paragraph is doing. It's describing why we have the teams in the first place.
Yeah. Structure to me says like, how many people are on a team? You know, how are the teams formed? What do they do? How do they know what to do?
Okay. I like that. So I went ahead and changed that. Use transparent as possible. Okay, communication is to be decided upon. Communication is to be decided upon by zone representatives and volunteers from the membership in a way that is equitable to all involved. Seems good enough. Does that kind of maybe resolve that purpose? Is there anything else from there that we can maybe move on from? Or do we need to include more? Let me add one more thing. Well, never mind. I already kind of said this. I don't need to do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Find that in. All involved. Okay. So I just want to kind of draft out from the purpose, like what sections else we need?
Mm-hmm.
So communication is obviously one. Do we want to do one that's structure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
I
one
think
up
we
here,
also
actually.
should talk about like the difference in how vacancies are handled. Like if someone doesn't want to volunteer, then they don't want to volunteer, and that's the end of it, you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Vacancies.
Rules and conduct, maybe.
Conduct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe removals could go in there. And of course, responsibilities. Yeah, I'm just looking down at the other sections we have, and I think a few of them we could just,
Right.
yeah.
Utilize. Okay. Oh, right. Meetings for sure. Do we have one that is compensation based?
That is, because they're volunteers, you know, and usually, yeah, I don't know.
I agree.
Ideally, yes, like whether they have their membership dues waived or something like that, like ideally.
Maybe that's one we can think about. Like we can just list it here, but then put like a question mark. Compensation.
Yeah, and I know that like other international orgs, like if they, you know, way down the line, if we, you know, have a conference, then usually volunteers are, maybe they don't get money, but they might get like swag, or they might, you know, have their fees waived, or, you know, whatever. But that, I know that's like very far down the line.
Yeah, but at least we can kind of get that established in there. I feel personally strongly towards compensation of some kind, of any kind, because I just, yeah, I want to be able to provide initiatives for, I think it would provide initiative for volunteer activity.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, it could even be like, if we put on a show, then they're like guaranteed a show or something. Like there's other stuff we can do. I
Do we
guess
put, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, saying that there is potential for it, it's all within reason, it's all dependent on the budget, it's dependent on what access to resources we have, but it's definitely something we want to do. I know that sounds like so foggy, but yeah, I don't know the other way.
I mean, that's kind of, yeah, I mean, it's foggy as it is right now, so. Okay, in structure, is this where we break down like the specific areas, or like, and we didn't like talk about, like, do we have certain things that are like non-negotiables, like every iteration of the guild must adhere to like having Instagram presence, YouTube presence, Google email email presence, Discord well, it's like Discord's obviously the one that's like probably flexible, but like, do we have some like non-negotiables that like we want to kind of establish in here, or is it going to always be like up to the guild?
I would make it more general, for instance, just a social media presence, because like what if YouTube starts putting 4 unskippable ads before everything and no one wants to use it anymore, or Instagram and Facebook become one, like completely one. It might get outdated quickly.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like 5 years ago I used Tumblr.
Tumblr.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And now
Oh,
I wouldn't
yeah.
even think to make a Tumblr page for anything.
Yeah. I know some, and I know like Padlet is one that a lot of people are using right now to create like online. So maybe I'll just leave that that section as public presence that we can kind of flesh out there after structure.
Yeah, and it can be a little bit general, just to They run a social media presence of some sort.
Mhm.
They keep the guild online because being online is part of the organization.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I can't imagine this guild not having a digital component, right?
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
addressing that, I don't know, but I'm also definitely like more for thinking about laying out how the teams are formed rather than necessarily laying out specific teams, just because again, like I don't know what we're gonna need in the future. But at the same time, I definitely think that, I guess, yeah, talking about the necessity of a digital team, like a team that deals with, I mean, public presence, but also like we're going to need a team to maintain the website, you know, like we're always going to need something like that.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
A team to maintain a digital presence sounded good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because we don't have I mean, right now we don't have a physical location, but even if we do, I don't think it'll necessarily go away, like needing a digital presence.
Yeah.
But then
So
I
I'm-
think everything else can be general.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of organizing it based on like flow. So then we would just talk about public presence, which really is kind of a secondary expansion on the purpose. Meetings, vacancies, removal, because that is all people related, and formation, because that's all people related. I'm actually going to move formation higher up. And then we go to communication responsibilities and compensation. Does that seem like an overall good, like,
Yeah.
table of contents essentially?
Because yeah, we have kind of what we think are the net, kind of those public presence as being something that's like not changing.
Mhm.
How literally has it formed? What do they do? That would be meetings. You know, what happens when there's a vacancy or we have to remove somebody? How do you behave? How do you talk to each other? General responsibilities. Yeah.
I could see
Okay.
public presence falling under responsibilities and compensation. And meetings are part of the responsibilities as well.
Do you think maybe responsibilities is redundant and it's
Well, I think it's
like
one of the
iterated?
main categories. So like I would nestle the fact that they have meetings, the fact that they run a public presence, the fact that there is a form of communication under their responsibilities. So if I said, okay, if I volunteered, what would my responsibilities be? And it would say, you help maintain our digital presence, you attend these meetings, and you like keep up with this form of communication through the guild.
So
And I
like
can,
those A, B, C kind of.
Mhm. Yeah, in the same, so I'm thinking of like the board general powers
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
as what responsibilities would be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, removals, conduct, and vacancies seems like yeah, I would actually keep those separate because a vacancy could be voluntary, but a removal
Mhm.
different.
Yeah.
But it might be interesting to put it under vacancies under responsibilities, just so they know that like you can abdicate your volunteer position without consequence.
Oops.
Yeah, if I was just a person deciding to volunteer, I would go to that section because I can't form a volunteer committee. Things like that would be less interesting.
So
Would
maybe
I
how
need
does-
to be elected? Sorry.
Yeah. So how does this, as you were kind of talking, I was kind of like reorganizing them then? Does this sort of seem like a better?
Yeah, and I think the structure of that, because like formations is for zone representatives to go look at.
Mhm.
And then responsibilities would be for someone thinking about volunteering. Removals and conduct would be also a more broad category that maybe more people would need to know about.
Also, I'm for anything that makes it a little bit easier to read.
Mm-hmm.
So like not having like 30 sections under this would probably be the best.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's go ahead and move on and start fleshing them out then. Do we need to keep this at all? This is from the zone rep.
Is there anything in the zone rep that talks about formation of committees that we want to like use the same language? Or teams, rather?
Well, there's this one right here, election and teams. At one meeting every 2 years, the election committee shall organize a vote open to all membership to elect zone reps to fill each position relative to the census. Each officer shall hold office for 2 consecutive fiscal years or immediately upon election if such election occurs after the first day of the fiscal year until the last day of the second fiscal year or until death, resignation, retirement, impeachment, or disqualification. If such occurs before the first day, special election is necessary. I mean, is there anything from that we really need?
We don't have any elections for the volunteers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay. So
I feel like section 2 could be formation.
yeah. All right. So I kind of hinted at it up here. So this is something that zone representatives should be doing.
Yeah.
And I feel like we said something too about teams being like, we were going to break up, like there were going to be general teams for like the whole guild, and then people from like zone reps, like there would be multiple zones that, like there would be members from multiple zones in like each team to kind of help make sure that the team activity was equitable. Like say if you were on like if you're in a coastal zone, you know, making sure that like you weren't the one in charge of like all YouTube, you know, because what may be equitable to, you know, a coastal place may not be the same as like a Midwest need. So I'm guessing we'll need to collectively establish.
That's what I was wondering if it had been decided, will we have like teams that are just, there'll be 2 different types of teams, essentially, like teams that are for the zone representatives form of their zone, but then maybe we have teams that are have to include all different members. Is that what you're thinking? Or
Yeah.
no?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, like that's kind of, and I guess I'm like maybe like stumped a little bit by that.
Yeah, what you were just saying, Ani, that's like exactly where my head was at. Partially because that's what we're doing right now. Like I can't imagine like one team in Texas being responsible for the Instagram. Like rather it would be a couple different people from wherever on the Instagram team, right?
So
Yeah.
unfortunately, it does seem like then we are wanting to establish specific teams that are already laid out in the bylaws. Kind of, right? Like we have zone representatives who are responsible for the formation of their teams because that's those teams are integral to those zones, right? And that's why we have zone representatives. But then, you know, what Kay was saying, well, you know, we can't expect a team in Texas to be as responsible for the Instagram account, you know, like, so it does seem like we need to have organization-wide teams and then zone representative teams.
I think that works because I think just to use like Becky's example of like a book club, for example, like that's a sort of committee or a team that was established by a zone rep, which probably, you know, using Texas as an example, like in Texas or something. And then whoever is in that zone, hopefully they'd be able to like find volunteers to make that happen. So that's like preparing a budget, reaching out to people, creating graphics to like get the word out, and then all of that would be filtered through whatever organizational team Does that make sense? I feel like I just said like so much stuff just then.
Yeah. And I think like, so then we need to maybe go back into the purpose and like actually lay out that we have zone teams and guild teams. Okay.
And then maybe generally define guild teams, but not like specifically what they're called. So that way it allows for the ability for those to be defined as needed.
I guess then our guilds, is the guild team the zone rep? Are zone reps the guild team?
Oh, I don't know. That seems like a lot of work.
I would argue for a structure that's would say like each team needs representatives from across each zone, and then to say if a zone wants to create their own specific team for their area's needs, that is kind of within their zone. So instead of zone teams versus guild teams, like all teams are guild teams, except for if a zone wants a specific team. So like so that would be in formation, in my opinion, and it's like the process for a zone to form their own specific team. If they say we want to have a book club that is all of the Eastern states, that is the RIPG EST book club, and they run their own team. That doesn't necessarily say we need, we need a volunteer in every section for that.
I think that sounds good. I also just want to make sure the language isn't exclusionary, or like the way that we're describing it, it's as if we're already 5 years in the future. So like, how can these bylaws serve us 5 years in the future and right now, when we would never say, book club only for this zone, because we don't have zones yet and we don't have everything, right? So if someone wants to have a book club and they're in Texas and California, then they can do that, right? Because it's small. But yeah, so I guess writing it so it serves us 5 years in the future and right now, and then changing when necessary, of course.
Yeah.
Yes. So so like in formation, if we put a provision for them to be able to form teams that are in specific zones, but to keep the majority of teams focused as guild teams.
Okay. So that's still zone representatives collectively establishing that.
Yeah, and that makes sense too, because you could have like a meeting and be like, hey, my zone is interested in doing this thing. I'm going to form a team for it. And then someone could say, well, my zone would like to do that too. Like, why don't we have a team that's like both of us together?
Then do you think we even need to say that they have the right to form teams that are just within their zone? Because like that, I don't know, like saying that would say like, sorry, I had a train of thought. So I don't know if we necessarily need to allow for that, because that seems like a logical conclusion if we leave it as is, like the language as is and kind of in general. Or
right.
My
opposing thought process is that we should say that guild-wide teams should have volunteers from multiple zones.
Right.
And so this is a provision for them to not have volunteers from multiple zones, if they would just like to do something in their own zone.
Okay.
So it's just kind of flipping that to where if it's not relevant to the entire membership and they'd like to do something, pardon.
Okay, yeah. So if a team's purpose is specific to a specific zone, obviously not say it like that, then we can, the requirement that multiple zone members be involved can be waived or something like that. Like, that requirement.
And if we say, okay, you need your teams to have volunteers from multiple zones, then that never ends up being just one zone handling a really big job.
Okay. So make that a requirement, but then have the possibility that it can be waived in certain circumstances.
Yeah, if they're asking, and wanting that.
Okay, cool. That makes way more sense.
Okay, so can you rephrase that for me, Chelsea? So I can just like quickly write that down and then I'll flesh it out into actual formal text.
So I would say the teams need to have volunteers from multiple zones unless specific zone representatives request a team for their zone. Something like that.
Okay, great. Okay. So I have starting with zone representatives, we need to collectively establish teams to meet the general public needs of the guild. That is, need to collectively establish teams to meet, made up of representation across all zones. Zone representatives may request localized zone teams. And I'm just putting that in capitals because that just seems like a good thing to maybe like officiate. Zone representatives may request localized zone teams to meet local needs in their area.
Yeah,
How does
that sounds good. And yeah, my thought process on that is that it just makes sure that nothing falls, no one responsibility falls on one team unless they're asking for it, unless that's something that they want.
Mhm.
That sounds good to me.
Cool. Is there anything from formation then that we need to include? I guess, does the board kind of decide what the general needs of the guild are each year, being like, this is our funding, these are things that we're sort of working towards, communicating that to the zone reps, and then zone reps then like divvy up and divide up how they want to tackle each of the needs. And then zone reps go, like I'm thinking of like it is kind of like a weird hierarchy, I guess is the way I'm thinking of it, but is there a better way maybe? Or is that like a okay way to work? So I'm thinking like board, big guild needs.
Okay.
Zone reps.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a bad way, because I think there's a way to say it where it's not like the board makes the decision and then like it doesn't necessarily have to trickle down, that kind of feeling. Whereas it's the board knows what money, like essentially the board knows like what kind of money is available, what kind of budget is feasible. The board is responsible for that, so they can just kind of I mean, if again, I'm all in favor of kind of using the phrase like in consultation, because
Yeah.
it can definitely be something where it's more of a mutual decision as opposed to the board makes the decision and passes that information along.
Yeah.
But I guess, I mean, yeah, like having, because I think if I was a zone rep, I would just be curious as to like, how do I decide what team is important to the public needs of the guild, right? Like, we don't want that responsibility on one person.
Yeah. Is that something we laid out at all ever in the board? Is that something that we're gonna have to revisit and add this in?
I mean, unless it's under general responsibility, general powers, upholding the goals and
Upholding the mission of the goals of the guild created by the membership alongside the zone representatives. Periodically serving. Oh, that needs to be changed.
yeah. I mean, it really isn't specifically laid out, other than if you want to say upholding the mission, goals, and objectives of the guild.
Right. Is that like good enough, or do we need to like potentially return to this and change that to expand it for teams? Or just add something to that basically just saying communicates needs to the zone reps.
And somehow communicates those goals or objectives, or
When mission goals and objectives of the guild created by membership alongside collaboratively. Collaboratively with the membership and the zone representatives.
yeah, I mean, I don't think it needs to be more specific than that, because again,
Okay.
like the idea of the board is always gonna, it looks, I mean, from everything we've written is like it's a tangential organization. Like there isn't a hierarchy, like one can't really operate without the other.
Yeah. As laid out in section 1A of the board of directors articles. Oops, I can't spell. As laid out in section 1A of the board of directors articles. A mutually defined list of needs, list of membership needs. Will determine
The formation of
formation of teams. Will determine the formation of specific teams.
Yeah, because I think that's the only question I would have if I was reading this, is to like, well, how does a team it decides we need this kind of team? So I think that's good enough, but also vague enough, right?
Yeah. To then be organized by zone representatives. Okay, so in order wise, let's move then this part down to here. Zone representatives may request localized zone teams to meet local needs in their area. I'll just to meet area needs. As defined by zone membership.
Nice, yeah.
I'll say that zone's membership.
You sure you don't want to use specific?
Cool, is that like it?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're going to move on to responsibilities. Which I'm going to go ahead and just change that one there. All right. Is somebody else on the stock? Kay, are you on the stock? On the document?
Yeah, do you want me to get out of it?
No, stay on it. I was gonna get up and use the restroom for a minute.
Okay, yeah, I'm here.
Cool, I'll be right back.
That was funny too. I thought it was gonna be like, yeah, go, get off.
Well, you never know, like,
Get on my dock. I'm just kidding.
with like Microsoft, if like two people are in it, there it's like it causes so many issues, but Google doesn't seem to have those, luckily.
Oh man, I don't know. I've been doing that lately where I just want to use the same word over and over and over. And I'm like, specific to the specific needs of the specific area, specifically addressing specific things.
Yes.
I'm like, I can't think. in complete sentences anymore sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like it's only February and I think everyone's pretty burnt out, unfortunately.
Yep.
Anyone have a spring break?
No.
Yeah, us either.
I have two, which means I really don't have any because I'm at two different schools. So they have two different spring breaks.
Right.
So no, but we're all online. So I think I'm just going to be like, you know what? We're not going to Zoom this week. Have fun. Don't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, give them a little break. Give yourself a break, give them a little break.
I feel like, especially now, we're putting too much pressure on like keeping the status quo for like a production of like hours and work and stuff. And I just want to be like, can we be a little bit more lenient for how much work I could realistically expect my students to complete while they're at home and they're trying to use their crappy water-based ink and their camera's not working, so I can't see the fact that they're trying to, roll out on, copy paper.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. I feel like that is, I feel like a lot of people are taking that approach, just like, giving them some grace. And I think that's exactly what needs to happen. And then I know I'm a part of a couple of Facebook groups with like higher ed learning and online distance learning. And some of them are not doing that at all. And it's just like,
yeah, I see that, like where I see their syllabi and like the additioning, and I'm just like, I don't know, like, I don't want them to get frustrated just the entire semester. They could do it and do all that work, but it's just going to be like, do I want them to like hate everything they're doing?
Yeah.
That happens in a normal semester.
yeah, exactly.
We have a weird spring break. Last semester, they gave us a spring break. Like they would give us, every month they would give us a day or two off until it built up to 7 days, like throughout the whole semester, which was really bizarre. So it would be like Wednesday, we don't have class. And it was kind of nice, but also just kind of odd. And this semester, they're giving us like a normal week off, but it's the same thing where it's like, students are like, wait, should I leave or should I stay? Because then does that mean can I go to class or not? And I'm like, if you're online, I mean, I would say stay, but you don't have to, if you don't have to meet your professors, and maybe travel. I wouldn't travel, but
That is so wild.
yeah, it's really strange. And I only have 3 students, so I'm teaching printmaking in person, and I only have 3 people, and it's really I don't know, it feels kind of weird, but also it makes me feel like I space them out 10 feet apart, everybody at the table, and just kind of and has their own zone, I guess, but it's still really weird.
It's more like a workshop at that point.
Yeah, well, and it's bizarre because everybody's keeping up. It's like, because they're like, oh, the other 2 have their work done, so I need to like, make sure that I don't stand out and finish the work. And I'm just like, with 3 people, like we can do whatever we want.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm glad, I guess in some way that makes me feel like they're safer. I'm safer also, but I thought my camera was on.
So it looks like the teams are responsible for the day-to-day. I mean, they aren't responsible. What are they helping facilitate the day-to-day operations? Are responsible for facilitating or in concert with.
Yeah, it's like they are like the driving force behind the task getting accomplished. Basically.
It's so funny. I've never thought about language so much since we started doing this, because I'm just like, whoa. I'm like, responsible is like a loaded word now.
Yes.
It's better to be clear though, at least.
Oh yeah. Well, honestly, this is way better what we're doing now. So I'm also part of like a local printmaking group in Asheville, and they aren't anything. They've never been anything. And now they're like, we should be like a legitimate organization. And I'm like, oh my God, you know what a pain in the butt it would have to be if we did this with like 100 people who are used to having literally no structure. And I'm like, do you think we can get everyone to like agree? I was like, I don't know. It's like herding cats. It's gonna be herding cats like 100%, especially since they're all like much older printmakers.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, I'm back now. So let's tackle responsibilities. The affairs, organization, and leadership of the guild shall be overseen by zone representatives in accordance with these bylaws. And this comes right from the zone rep articles. Like, do we just keep it?
I mean, do we need it? I mean, I feel like it doesn't necessarily need to be there because this is pertaining specifically to teams, but
Yeah. Like that wouldn't be there. But
Yeah, maybe we can just start with listing the responsibilities and then we can decide if it's necessary to have it once we have a little bit more context.
okay. All right. So let's take this up. So obviously, I mean, even all
yeah,
membership needs to do this.
Yeah, upholding the
Number
mission.
one.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is removals.
No.
Yeah, that's unnecessary. Instead, should we talk about maintaining a consistent
Digital presence.
digital/public presence?
Mhm.
I'm going to just keep this broad and just say public.
Okay.
Maintaining a consistent public presence, just to keep it flexible for digital or physical.
Yeah.
What's the opposite of digital?
Real.
Yeah. Support raising financial resources required. Is this the one where they would maybe say like propose, or do we even need this one? This is about money.
I mean,
Is that that's what the zone reps did.
yeah, I think in terms of money, they could, I mean, even then the zone rep would still be of that team, like the team leader would still be responsible for the money and not necessarily just a team member.
Yeah. So in this one, it would just be communicate.
Financial needs.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of giving them like empowering team members, you know,
Mhm.
saying that like, hey, we would love for you to like give us ideas and like, you know, not that you have to do that labor, but like if you want to go above and beyond and you see something is lacking, then like please do like say it, you know.
So I have fiscal, technical, physical. Is there another one that, like, as far as needs go, like a type of need? Physical, tech, so money, material. Now I just want to say psychological. Emotional need. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that covers it.
Okay. Or any other
Needs.
needs required to accomplish the guild's missions, the guild's tasks. So I'm just going to say to accomplish tasks. Okay, this is a review. We don't really need this one. So instead, we had talked about, oh wait, for this one, maybe for maintaining a consistent public presence, do we expand and just say like, including but not limited to meeting minutes / video recordings, social media.
I think we kind of need to define it just a little bit. Like, what are you thinking? And that is, it could be as, yes, recording all the meetings, making them videos available. I mean, we do talk about that under the meetings section though. So that's again why I was thinking like, well, we could make it specific here, but under the meeting section, we do have that. So, I mean, we can be redundant and that's fine. But do you think maybe that needs to be?
We can be like lightly redundant, but mainly like, I think videos / recordings or documentation.
Yeah.
Including but not limited to documentation of all events, or I'll say activities. Public presence within the membership, I also want to say, because that then includes all members, including but not limited to documentation of all activities, social media, and other platforms. Is that fine? It's kind of vague, but
It's good to be vague.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I mean, I used to have a live journal, so I don't want to be too specific.
All right. Vague book. Okay. So communicate fiscal, technical, physical, and other needs required to accomplish tasks set forth by the zone reps and board of directors. Yeah, I mean, what else is really needed here? I mean, this is definitely a given. Sustaining clear, transparent communication between everybody, that needs to stay. I guess. Kay, you were saying earlier about like power to the volunteers.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess just making them feel like their ideas and feedback is valuable, which that can just be like a quick little thing added to either C, or it could just be a quick little thing for D.
Okay, so maybe in that case, communicate and empower fiscal, technical, or physical, or any other needs required to accomplish tasks set forth by zone reps and board of directors, zone reps, board of directors, and membership. Need to remember to say that to grant power to the membership as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I guess my idea is like, I think we're going to be putting a lot of trust in the teams. They're going to be like on the ground working with people and like seeing what we need, So I think that, if they see something, they should like, let us know.
Yeah. So how do we, so that's a conduct thing. So how do we address that?
I was gonna say, I mean, is it a little cheesy, but it kind of makes me think of those job ads where they're like, well, ability to work effectively and as part in concert with a team, like something about how they will be expected to work within their team, and not necessarily just take direction, right? They need to be able to work not independently, but like in concert, right? And
I guess collaboratively.
Mhm.
thank you.
Team members will be expected to collaboratively conduct themselves.
Within a given team.
Within their given team, as well as hold themselves accountable to deadlines.
Yeah, I was like the completion of tasks, projects, meeting deadlines within a reasonable time frame. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
starting to sound like a job description.
I mean, it is, it is, and that's
Yeah.
okay. Okay. So then we probably really don't need this one at all then. But I guess to expand on this one, we could also say, well, maybe this is what the next one is. This is where team members are empowered to
Okay.
team
So,
involvement.
I mean, they're empowered not only to facilitate the goals of the team as laid out by their team leader, but also what is it? Also implement strategies and suggestions of their own.
Yeah.
Like they're facilitators for sure, but we want them to also be, independent, like leaders and thinkers and yeah.
Mhm.
So like you suggest your own ideas. That's amazing.
Implement strategies that will work best
Mhm.
for the given team.
In service of the guild.
Yeah. Yeah. Service to the guild and membership. I wanted to put something to, like, my brain was going somewhere about, and again, maybe this is just like, maybe it's just like a small little section that like is like a little reminder that like your involvement in a team. Well, I don't know. Just reminding them of their powers as members, like just something reminding of the power of membership. And maybe it doesn't need to be there. Maybe that's what the membership articles are for. I don't know. What do y'all think?
Can you be more specific? What do you mean by reminding them of the power of the membership? Like, what about it?
Well, I guess like I'm thinking, like I wouldn't want somebody to feel like because they're volunteering as a team member, that they're then like forgetting their other abilities. Like I don't know. Maybe
So something
maybe it's
about
not necessary.
team inclusion on a team contains therein all of the powers and whatever of a guild membership or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's like the very last one.
Yeah, like even though you're on a team, you still have all the full rights and powers of a guild member, what have you.
Mhm.
And then of course we define those in the membership section.
Mhm.
That's good. Yeah.
Involvement on a team. Involvement as a volunteer on a team.
Grants.
Still grants full powers granted by membership.
I've just laughed because I've been doing that all day. I'm like, granted, specifically.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my life right now. Oh crap. I have to go.
Okay.
But yeah, whenever you guys get to a stopping point with this, I will definitely be happy to take a look and drop in my comments and edits and things like that for you guys.
Please do.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much
Well,
for your help.
yeah. Thank you,
Have fun
Ani.
looking at houses.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, so much fun. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so I'm making a note to myself to email this to our
The group.
group email. Or draft checks. Okay. Sustaining clear communication between the board, other teams.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I don't feel like this one right here is needed. G.
I agree with you.
Because that's more of a zone. That is more of a zone rep power.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that it then? Because like F, G, and then what we added for H it's all. Pretty much there.
Reuben, I like what you have here at the top, where it says like mutual collaborative decision, and then it's sort of like a little flow chart. Like I think that talking about like the flow of information and the flow of roles and power like is important. Not to like establish a hierarchy, but just so that people know who to like look to. I just wanted to mention that because I didn't know if we were going back up to that top portion to see what was next. But
Yeah, so there's a section here from zone reps that's team leadership. And maybe instead of team leadership, we change this one to something relating to that.
okay.
I was thinking like, for some reason I have the word distribution in mind. And I'm thinking like distribution of responsibilities. Because then it's like an add-on from responsibilities. It's like, okay, you take all of these responsibilities of being on a team. Now here's how that is distributed.
Yeah, I think I see what you're saying.
What's a good word for that?
I don't know. I was even thinking like we had structure earlier.
Yeah.
It feels like that would. It feels like maybe that would hit it. I don't know.
Oh yeah. I think maybe the other word too that we were looking at was like just straight up communication.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if anything, communication / distribution / structure, so that we can get more feedback on it or something.
Yeah. And I'll just put like
Question mark.
question mark in parentheses. It's like the universal like check this.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Mutual collaborative decision. Well, hang on. The development, implementation, structure, and organizations of teams. Organizations, teams in the guild are collaboratively shaped and expanded by the zone representatives. A minimum of 2 zone representatives are required to lead a team. The number of leaders per team.
Is there a minimum number of team members in a team? Like, should we lay that out as well? And maybe like how to, no, yeah, that was it. That was, I'm done, sorry.
I guess minimum would be like 2.
How many zone representatives have to oversee a team?
A
2.
minimum 2, yeah, minimum of 2.
So I would say like a minimum of 4, including the 2 zone representatives.
Okay.
Okay, a minimum of 4 members to a team, including the 2 zone representatives are required. Actually, I have a better way. A team is made up of a minimum of 4 members to a team, including the 2 zone representatives. And we don't really need to include this one because that relates to zone reps specifically. Or maybe I can edit it. The number of leaders per team is able to expand. Actually, maybe instead of leaders, the number of members per team is able to expand as the number of zone, and maybe instead of representatives, we say membership increases from year to year. And maybe even less. Because this is like that's leadership in zone representatives, and that would need to be like a year-to-year thing, but like imagine month to month, like if your zone is having a lot of activity all of a sudden and you're a printmaker and you're seeing that and you're like, oh, I want to join actually.
I would say changing from instead of increases, in case there is, for instance, 2 zones that have been joined and then break apart.
Oof, so maybe like fluctuates.
Yeah, just something that they don't just have to get bigger in size to change their needs. They could get smaller or
zone membership fluctuates. And then maybe from, just say during the year. Because this means that it's continuous. I'm going to say continuously. Is able to continuously expand as the number of zone membership fluctuates within the year. Say within the year, during the year is fine. Okay. I'm going to keep that separate because that's removal. So I guess, do I just simply kind of write out what I did above? Like just being the flow chart. Board handles, big guild needs, zone reps, lead teams, and then volunteers initiate.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Is non-hierarchical. It's non-hierarchical within its mission.
Maybe mission and structure.
Wait, what?
Mission structure.
Oh, yeah. The board of directors handles all large fiscal requests. Zone representatives. I'm going to actually not say handles, be a little more official. Manage all large fiscal requests for the guild to zone representatives. These needs are then communicated to the zone representatives to then manage or to then establish within the membership contained within their zone, respective zone. Oh, wow, this is a long sentence. Hold on. These needs are then communicated to the zone representatives to then establish within the membership contained within their respective zone the necessary teams required teams to accomplish. Necessary teams to accomplish. So this is going to likely, like in the practical sense, this is going to be kind of like surveyed by the zone, like zone representatives are going to have to create a survey for their zone membership,
Mhm.
which is then going to really require actually, and I don't know if we do, I can't remember if we do this off the top of our head, but do we have like, do we already have like an established zone? I guess that's something we're gonna have to do within the membership. You're gonna have to declare your zone.
Right.
Because we'll need the, like zone reps are gonna need that record. They need like the, what is it, the inventory or the, not the inventory, the directory of who's in their zone.
Will
Okay.
that go in the like membership articles when we write them?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like the sentence that you just wrote should also be within that article whenever we write it.
Okay. I'm going to comment that very thing. Add to membership articles when we get there. Because I assume membership articles are probably the next thing.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anything else from that kind of? Okay, let me go back and reread the whole thing just to see if I need to conclude it. The development, implementation, structure, and organization of teams within the guild are collectively shaped and expanded by the zone representatives. A team is made up of a minimum of 4 members to a team, including the 2 zone representatives. The number of members per team is able to continuously expand as the number of zone membership fluctuates during the year. While the guild is non-hierarchical with its mission and structure, the board of directors manage all large fiscal requests for the guild. These needs are then communicated to the zone representatives to then establish within the membership contained within their respective zone necessary teams to accomplish, I'm going to put set goals. Okay, I want to go back actually to reinforce the non-hierarchical. Okay, the board of directors manage all large fiscal requests for the guild via a survey of the entire current membership.
I was looking at the first sentence. Yeah, the development and collectively shaped and expanded by the zone representatives. I think we need to add somewhere in here that it's like they're collectively shaped and expanded by, like as, I don't know how to put this, like as required, or when because it's not just the zone representative saying, all right, we need a team. It's also people like already, like just general membership or volunteers saying we need this as well, you know? So I just don't want it to insinuate that like all the power rests with them.
Yeah, so maybe teams in the guild are just collectively managed or shaped and managed by the membership first, followed by the zone representatives,
Yes, that's better. Yeah.
and lastly, the board of directors.
Okay.
So hopefully that actually kind of lays out a better hierarchy.
Yeah,
That's,
and it feels like not too much power is resting with the representatives or with the board of directors.
yeah. Yeah. And that's, I guess, like that. And I'll put this here also as a comment for us to return to, but this indicates the power of the membership to the overall guild. And I guess like the one kind of like, I guess like could be like potentially tricky thing to navigate is that the zone reps and the boards are going to be made up of members. And so like they have just as equal of a right to communicate their need as members to a specific zone.
Right. I guess they can't flex their power and say, I'm the zone rep, so I say we don't need this, or I say we do need it. Like it has to go through like a couple different channels, just like checks and balances type thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because I agree, like they definitely, they do have those rights, but the whole like conflict of interest, comes into play because
Mhm.
it looks like they might have more power, but really they shouldn't.
And maybe that's what I was thinking of, like being a team volunteer is not the same. You're not at the same level of risk as the zone reps and board of directors for having conflicts of interest.
Yeah.
Because like your interests are come first.
I think that works.
Yeah, survey the entire current membership. Okay, so designation as I haven't written this out before. Oh yeah, this is written involvement as a, ooh, I like the word designation a lot. Designation as a volunteer team or designation to a volunteer team still grants full powers and rights. As determined by membership. Designation as a team member does not forfeit any powers as, right, because we're saying like the board of directors and the zone reps are forfeiting a little bit.
Mhm.
We've laid that out in those ones, right? But here we want to make sure that there is nothing forfeited. Does not forfeit any powers, interests, or
Rights.
rights. Thank you. Afforded by membership.
That's great.
Okay, so then does that conclude that section?
Makes sense to me.
Cool. So we've covered communications. We need to do meetings and vacancies. Wow, this has been a wildly productive meeting. Okay. I'm gonna move this to 4, move this whole section up to come after responsibilities. And now we're at meetings. Okay. Okay, so we don't have as like formal of meetings as team or as zone reps and board.
Maybe it should be more like regular, like at least once per month. That's like the minimum. Because in the earlier sections, we said that communication method and the amount would be determined by a given team and the zone rep. But I think we should at least have a minimum. Maybe, I don't know, just something.
Yeah. Or is it like, not to get all businessy with this, but like, is it quarterly, you know, like, or seasonally? Actually, that's what my partner likes to say, because my partner hates like business jargon. They're like, I think they were talking about like a video game or something, and they were just like, somebody was like, it's coming out this quarter, and they were just like, just say season. Just say it's coming out this season in the fall or something. So like, maybe it's like, though, like, yeah, something like that, like seasonally 4 times within a year.
Yeah, it's like they're maintaining regular communication at least seasonally or something like that.
Okay.
Or maybe not at least, but at minimum seasonally.
Yeah, because I don't want to burden them with the same level of meetings that, like, you know, like as zone reps and board members are responsible for, you know, but they should have something.
Yeah, that's true. I was, to be truthful, I was kind of getting meetings a little bit confused with like regular communication. But you're right, like official meetings for a team does not have to happen nearly as regularly as like discussing things on Discord or text or whatever.
Yeah, because I think too, like, especially like what Stephanie was doing with, you know, with their teams, with the mailing list, you know, that's probably like, they probably don't all meet like as a group as like super often. They just meet, they talk more like impromptu. So yeah, being a volunteer on a team. And should this be something that the zone representative manages?
Yeah, I think their role is, you know, leadership and organization. So I think that they should lead it, but can obviously consider like what the needs of the team. Yeah, the needs of the team.
Happening at least seasonally. Being a volunteer in a team requires attendance for me to be scheduled by the zone representative. Zone representatives managing said team.
You could, if you wanted to take out managing said team, you could say the respective zone representative.
Oh, you're right. I don't know why I deleted all that, but
No worries.
I do this. That's just like what I'm just like, I'm going to rewrite that entire sentence rather than like one word.
It feels faster. It's like you got to start over. I feel that.
Yeah. Because then I'm like, oh, where am I clicking? like, no, delete it all, start over. To be scheduled by the respective zone representatives. Okay. Is that really it?
I feel like yes. I mean, unless we wanted to give some
Oh.
guidance about like what should, you know, what are the products of these meetings? Like, is it a plan? We don't have to be that specific, but because I feel like the zone rep will have an idea and so will the team members, but I feel like that's it.
Okay. Any meeting of the zone representatives may be held in any form. Yeah, because they're meeting a bunch. Well, okay, so we said zone reps meet quarterly. Do we say then maybe that volunteers meet twice a year?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, because I don't want them to be meeting nearly as much then. Requires, hold on, I messed this up. Residents to 2 meetings. Two meetings per year to be scheduled by the respective zone representatives. Okay. If this is just really all we need, then shouldn't this just go into the responsibilities section?
I feel like it matches the structure of the other bylaws if we keep it in meetings, but I don't have a preference. I think it makes sense either way. If we wanted to maintain the, like for consistency with the other documents, then we can leave it as is, or we could stick it there. I have no preference.
Okay.
Does it say at some place in the responsibility that they have meetings?
No.
Maybe
All it says is just sustaining clear, transparent communication. So maybe we can just copy this.
Put it in both places.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it can be a little redundant. That's fine. Boop. All right. Maybe in here we can just be like, we can just communicate that. Oh wait, we had special meetings laid out in here. Hang on. Any meeting of the zone reps to be held in a form other than physical presence, such as conferences, teleconferences, as long as representatives participating in the meeting may simultaneously communicate. Special meetings of the zone reps may be called by or at the request of any of, it's a little confusing, but I do like that. I want to include this. Special meetings of the volunteering member and members of a team may be called by or at the request of any of the, by anyone involved. Anyone involved within the team. Representatives may be called by or at request. Notice must be given at least 2 weeks in advance by any usual means of communication to each zone representative, and any action taken at a special meeting shall be voidable. What did that mean? I don't think I was here for that meeting.
That is regarding, like, there's no secret meetings happening. It's like everyone has to know, everyone has to be given adequate notice. It's just to protect everyone, basically.
Okay, so then they should have the same language protecting them as well.
Yeah, it's like nothing shady's happening.
Yeah. This must be given of any and all zone record. Some of the language is a little confusing. I may want to go back and clarify some of it. I don't think I fully understand. Ah. Oh God.
Why did it do that?
My mouse. I have the double tap zoom gesture.
Oh, I see. That was kind of cool.
It's nice when you gotta zoom in on something real quick, but then
Yeah.
I do it on accident because I like flinched accidentally or something. Like, ah. Okay. Okay. So notice must be given at least 2 weeks in advance by any usual means of communication to each zone representative. Any action taken at a special meeting shall be voidable upon the failure to obtain acknowledgement of receipt. Notice from any zone representative. Notice must be given. We don't need to change any of that then, do we?
I don't think so. It was a little confusing, but the more I read, I'm like, okay, yeah, I know what's going on.
Yeah. We can always revisit and tighten
Yeah.
up the language.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so then none of that's needed anymore.
Ooh, vacancies, right?
Yeah.
I'm not excited about that. I don't know why I said ooh.
Wow, vacancies.
So exciting.
I appreciate the enthusiasm.
I'm
I think I just get
enthusiastically
excited.
vacant.
Yeah, yeah. That's great.
Okay. Does this just need to be like its own section then? So section 6.
Yes.
Vacancies. Any volunteer may resign at any time by giving written notice. Actually, they don't even need, I mean, should we require written notice or?
I would say just by communicating with the zone representative, just whether they want to email or send a text message or post it on Discord should probably be up to them if they're feeling overwhelmed and want to abdicate their duties.
Okay. Any volunteer may resign at any time by providing documented notice. By providing any kind of documented notice.
Mm.
That kind of keeps it nice and broad.
Oh, to the zone rep, right?
Oh, yes. To any zone representative managing the corresponding team.
There we go. Yeah.
The resignation takes effect upon receipt of notice or at a later date as specified in the notice, and unless otherwise specified therein, the acceptance of such resignation shall not be necessary to make it effective. That's basically just saying, peace, I'm out. And
Yeah, like they're not asking for permission, it just is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any team leader maybe remove, okay.
There should be conduct, right? Or it's still, yeah, it's still vacancies, I guess. Yeah.
So do we say any volunteer on a team may be removed at any time with or without cause by majority of the responding membership or through direct violation of the code of conduct of the guild? Actually, yeah.
It should be the same across the board.
Yeah.
We might not even need anything about conduct if we're going to write that in the code of conduct. So yeah, we don't even need that.
Okay. Wait, like we don't need any of this part right here, or?
All right, you're good. You're good. Sorry, I was thinking if we had a code of conduct section in this particular bylaw, but now I'm thinking we don't need that if we're going to have a code of conduct article later.
Yeah. Okay, the team leadership will be bound by the articles listed in teams. Do we keep that or get rid of that?
Is that applicable?
Because we wrote above that
The team
designation as a
leadership
team
is
member
zone.
does not forfeit any powers, interests, or rights afforded by membership. What was that?
The team leadership is our zone representatives.
Correct.
Yeah,
Two
they're
zone
officers.
representatives. Yeah. So should that stay in the vacancies for teams?
I don't think it makes sense in that section exactly,
Okay.
because the team's vacancies don't have anything to do with the zone representatives, other than just informing them.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Any vacancies created through resignation or removal can be filled through the self-nomination of another member within. Should it be within the zone or can it be just anybody? I mean, does that create kind of a problem if like someone from Texas is like, I'm gonna volunteer on the LA team?
Well, I guess the LA team would just be like, no.
Do we leave that option available though? I mean, because it could be somebody that like, say they're in like another zone, but they're like, I used to live in that zone.
Yeah,
And
we did talk about that a little bit, like if you want to help out in a zone and you've just moved, that as long as it's okay with the zone leadership.
Yeah. So then to be approved by zone representative. Does that seem pretty open and fair?
Makes sense to me.
Cool.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, we're at kind of the last two right now. Waiver of notice. And we've noticed of any zone. Waiver notice of such meeting except where a zone. Do we need this section for teams?
Oh, it should be good to let them know they can waive notice of a meeting if they don't want to attend.
Okay. Any volunteer member may waive notice of any meeting. The attendance by a zone representative at a meeting shall, I'm going to capitalize that, at a meeting shall constitute a waiver of notice of such meeting, except where a zone representative attends a meeting for the express purpose of objecting to the transaction of any business because the meeting is not lawfully called or convened.
So should the zone representative be changed to this section? I think anywhere where it says zone representative needs to be changed to volunteer member.
Okay, so then let's just go ahead and do that. Yeah, I was not here when this one was written, I think. So this one's a little unfamiliar to me. So I don't quite know the background of this one.
Yeah, this is another one that's like no shady meetings are happening, y'all. It's not cool.
Okay. Okay, cool. Well, then there's that. So now we're at,
Oh, the biggest one.
I know. Do we just leave this one for next meeting?
Honestly, I feel like we should just write a couple notes about what we were thinking, and yes, leave it for next meeting, because Becky did say that we probably are going to have two for this one.
Yeah, well, and I'd like to have her included on this as well.
Agreed.
So, okay. Just gonna put thoughts. Would be great if it could happen. Waiving membership dues.
Guaranteeing a show at the end of the year or something, or anytime throughout the year.
Maybe a volunteer show.
Yeah. I feel like anytime I've I've been to Frogman's, I've been to Pilchuck, I've been to a couple other places, and usually if you're staff or you're volunteering, you get a show out of it, which is awesome, for a resume and just to connect with people. So
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, we can also talk about the establishing of mutual aid to help volunteers. Like
yeah.
I know that was something that would happen at Anderson Ranch, like the instructor at the end of a workshop would go to all of the classmates to be like, hey, can you, because the interns don't get paid, but the instructors would do this thing where they would survey the class and be like, do you have some money to give to the interns? And so everyone would provide like a little bit of cash to give to them.
Yeah, and I guess if eventually, so I'm thinking about this event that we're planning. We're planning on sort of having like a tip jar type thing. Like that's another form. So yeah, I think mutual aid covers that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thoughts would be great if it could happen. Waiving membership dues, volunteer exhibition, mutual aid. I'm
going to add the part about it's feasible.
What about workshops, surveying what these volunteers would like Skillshare, I guess, sort of maybe I can't pay you, but then I can actually teach you something that maybe you're interested in learning, and some member is super cool at it and you really like what they do, and then maybe figuring out a way to sort of sharing that as a way of compensation. I don't know.
That could also be compensation to the entire membership too. Because that seems like something actually that the whole membership should benefit from. Whereas volunteers, that's just work that we want to just respect them for. Yeah. I guess we didn't really talk about conference, the formation of, well, hopefully the language that we've included keeps it flexible for conference volunteer.
I'm just writing a note here. I think that was a really awesome idea, and I just want to make sure we don't forget it.
Yeah, thank you. Conference down the line. I'm going to add to what you wrote about conference too. This is what we have written here. Apply to conferences. Okay. Is that it? Do we feel like we can?
Could we provide volunteer online platforms maybe, as a way of, I mean, as an extension of as an extension of Instagram, being like, okay, well, maybe we can mock up like a page for all our volunteers and as like a, and they could be like on the guild's website for a while and then just kind of rotate it that way. So it's not just like a, you know, because like on Instagram, it's like very visceral, like it kind of happens within a few days and then you just kind of move on. But then like having sort of that sort of semi-permanent, yeah, like sort of semi-permanent
Recognition.
exposure, yeah, could be
That's great.
valid.
Yeah, because that's also useful. Like I think about too when there's like elections for like boards for SGC or MAPC, like sometimes there's people who are getting nominated and I'm like, I don't know who these people are.
Yeah.
And it would be really nice, especially if we're working within the membership guild as well. Like we can maybe have like a history of, we can have like a history of those specific volunteers. So that way, like they have like a record, and also for benefiting their own like CV too. You can be like, look, I was a volunteer here, you know, because usually it's always like word of mouth.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a great, thank you for that. That's a great idea. Thanks for that, Juana. Okay. Well, it's, we're at our time now. Is this a good stopping point?
Yeah, I think so. Feels really
Yeah.
productive.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording here. Meeting adjourned.
Yeah, I'd love to get more feedback from like more members on the incorporation team before we even consider finalizing it. So it's great to leave it for our second meeting and just right there.
Yeah, yeah, it did come, this all did kind of come about really quickly. Then
Yeah.
we were like, whoa, we wrote this really fast. Did we forget something? So cool. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and adjourn the meeting and stop recording.
All right.